Wow, Clara. This farmer's market is amazing.
It is, isn't it, Thomas? I love coming here on a Saturday morning.
I've never been to this one before. Look at all the fresh produce. Everything is so colorful.
I know. Look at these beautiful red tomatoes. They are so ripe and juicy. And the smell of the fresh herbs is just incredible.
It all looks so much better than the vegetables in the supermarket.
It is. Everything here was picked just yesterday or this morning. It's all local and in season. You can really taste the difference.
I can imagine. It makes me feel a little bit guilty about my own cooking
Guilty? Why's that?
because I rarely use ingredients that are this fresh. My cooking is very basic. I don't really have the time or the inspiration.
For me, coming to a market like this is the best inspiration. It's my favorite part of the week.
Really? More than relaxing with a coffee?
Yes, because this is the start of my favorite hobby.
And what is that?
Cooking, of course.
Cooking is your favorite hobby? I didn't know you were so passionate about it.
I absolutely am. For me, it's much more than just making food to eat. It's my creative outlet.
Your creative outlet. So it's like how some people paint or play a musical instrument.
Exactly. I love the whole process. I love coming here to the market to choose the best ingredients. I love taking them home and preparing them. And I love the final result, of course.
That's wonderful. I think of cooking as more of a chore, a necessary task at the end of the day.
I think many people feel that way, but for me, it is pure relaxation and joy.
So, how did you get into cooking? Were your parents big cooks?
My mother is a good cook, but she is very practical. She cooks healthy meals, but she doesn't experiment much.
So, you didn't learn from her.
I learned the basics from her, yes, but the person who really taught me to love cooking was my grandmother.
Your grandmother. That is such a lovely story.
When I was a little girl, I used to spend every Sunday at her house, and we would always cook the Sunday lunch together.
What kind of things did she teach you to make?
She taught me all the classic, traditional Austrian dishes, how to make a perfect Wiener Schnitzel, how to make bread dumplings, the Knödel.
So you learned all the family secrets.
I did. She never used a recipe book. All the recipes were in her head and in her hands. She taught me how to feel the dough and how to smell the spices.
That is the best way to learn, with your senses, not just with your eyes.
It is. Those Sundays in her kitchen are some of my happiest childhood memories. And that is where my love for cooking began.
That is such a beautiful story about your grandmother. She gave you a wonderful gift.
She really did. A gift that I use every single day.
So, what is it that you love most about cooking now, as an adult?
I think there are two main things that I love about it.
What are they?
The first thing is the creativity.
Tell me more about that.
I love that you start with a collection of simple, raw ingredients, some vegetables, some meat, some spices, and a few hours later, you have transformed them into something completely different, a delicious, beautiful meal.
It is a kind of magic, isn't it? A kind of alchemy.
It is. And I love experimenting with flavors. I love thinking, what will happen if I add a little bit of this or a little bit of that?
So you don't always follow a recipe exactly.
No. Once you understand the basic principles, you can start to play. Cooking is a science, but it is also an art.
That's a great way to put it. What is the second thing that you love about it?
The second thing is that it is incredibly relaxing for me.
That is so interesting. For me, cooking can be quite stressful. I am always worried I will burn something.
At the end of a long, busy day at work, when my head is full of emails and meetings, I come home to my kitchen.
And what happens?
I put on some nice music, and I start to do some simple physical tasks. I chop some onions, I stir a sauce, and it is very meditative.
Meditative?
Yes, it means it helps my mind to become calm and quiet. I can't think about my work problems when I am concentrating on chopping a carrot. I have to be in the present moment.
So, it is your way of de-stressing after a long day.
It is the best way. It is my therapy.
So, cooking is your creative and relaxing hobby. I am very impressed.
It is my happy place.
Do you have a favorite type of food to cook? A favorite cuisine?
That is a very difficult question. I love cooking food from all over the world.
Are you an expert in Austrian food because of your grandmother?
I do love cooking traditional Austrian dishes, especially in the winter. A hearty goulash on a cold day is the best thing in the world.
I completely agree with you on that.
But I think my real passion is for Italian food.
Italian food. What is it about Italian cooking that you love so much?
I love its simplicity. It is not about complicated techniques or hundreds of different ingredients.
What is it about then?
It is all about the quality of the ingredients. It is about taking a few very simple, very fresh ingredients and letting them shine.
Like the beautiful ripe tomatoes we're looking at right now.
Exactly. A perfect, simple Italian pasta sauce only needs a few things: amazing tomatoes, some fresh basil, a clove of garlic, and some good quality olive oil.
And when the ingredients are that good, you don't need to do much to them.
Precisely. The whole philosophy is less is more.
I also love how Italian food is so regional. Every region has its own special dishes.
It does. It's a whole country to explore just through its food.
Have you ever been to Italy for a holiday?
I have, a few times. And I went to a cooking class in Tuscany once. It was one of the best experiences of my life.
A cooking class in Italy. I am very jealous. You are a true expert. It is so inspiring to hear you talk about cooking with so much passion.
I'm glad. Maybe I can inspire you to cook a little bit more.
I would love to be a more confident cook. I really would.
So, what is stopping you? What is your biggest challenge in the kitchen?
I think my biggest problem is that I am not very creative. I tend to cook the same 3 or 4 meals again and again and again.
The safe meals that you know how to cook.
Exactly. My weekly menu is pasta with tomato sauce from a jar, scrambled eggs, and sometimes a frozen pizza. It is very boring.
It does not sound very exciting, no.
And when I try to cook something new from a recipe, it often goes wrong.
What happens?
The food doesn't look like the picture in the book, or the taste is not quite right, and then I feel disappointed. And I just go back to my boring, safe meals.
I think that is a very common experience for people who are learning to cook.
So, as an expert, do you have any advice for a beginner cook like me? How can I get better and more confident?
Of course, I have some advice. I would be happy to share my secrets.
Please do. I am ready to learn.
Okay, my first and most important piece of advice for a beginner cook is to start simple.
Start simple. What do you mean by that?
I mean, you should not try to cook a very complicated, fancy meal for your first experiment. Don't choose a recipe with 20 different ingredients and 10 different steps.
I think that might be my first mistake. I always choose the most impressive-looking dish in the cookbook.
That is a recipe for disaster. You should choose a recipe that is simple and that only has a few ingredients, like the simple pasta sauce we were talking about.
So, I should aim for small, easy victories to build my confidence?
Exactly. My second piece of advice is to use good quality, fresh ingredients.
Like all the beautiful things we see here at the market.
Yes, fresh ingredients have so much more flavor. They do most of the work for you. A delicious, ripe tomato already tastes amazing. You don't need to add much to it.
So, if you use good ingredients, you have a much better chance of making a delicious meal.
A much better chance. And my third piece of advice is the most important one.
What is it?
Don't be afraid to make mistakes.
But I hate making mistakes. I want it to be perfect.
It will not always be perfect, and that is okay. Every single cook in the world, even the most famous chefs, has made terrible mistakes.
Really?
Of course. They have all burned the dinner, or added too much salt, or dropped the cake on the floor. It is part of the learning process.
So, I shouldn't be so hard on myself if it doesn't work out perfectly?
You should not. A mistake is just an opportunity to learn. You will think, okay, next time I will use a little less salt, or I will cook it for a shorter time. Every mistake makes you a better cook.
Start simple, use good ingredients, and don't be afraid of mistakes. That is excellent advice. Thank you.
You are very welcome. I have one more small tip for you.
What is it?
It is about seasoning.
Seasoning? You mean salt and pepper?
Salt and pepper are the most basic and important seasonings, yes. But there is a whole world of other flavors you can use to make your food more interesting.
You mean like herbs and spices?
Exactly. Look at this stall here. It is a paradise of flavors.
Wow, there are so many different kinds of fresh herbs. I recognize some of them. That one is basil.
Yes, it has a beautiful, sweet and peppery smell. It is the classic herb for Italian cooking. A few fresh basil leaves can completely transform a simple tomato sauce.
And that one with the thin leaves is rosemary, right?
It is. It has a very strong, woody, pine-like flavor. It is amazing with roasted potatoes or with lamb.
And what are all these powders in the little glass jars?
Those are the spices. They are usually dried and ground.
I see paprika, which we use in goulash, and cumin and chili powder.
Using a small amount of a spice can add a whole new dimension to a dish. It can make it warm or spicy or smoky.
I am always a bit scared of using spices. I am worried I will add too much and ruin the dish.
The rule is to always start with a very small amount. You can always add more, but you can't take it away.
That is a very wise rule. You have really inspired me, Clara. I feel like I want to go home and cook something right now.
That is the best thing I have heard all day.
I am tired of my boring, safe meals. I want to try and cook a real meal from scratch this weekend.
You should. Today is the perfect day to start. We are surrounded by all these beautiful, fresh ingredients.
I know, but I still feel a little bit overwhelmed. I need a mission. I need a recipe.
Okay, I can give you a mission. I can give you a very simple and very delicious first recipe to try.
Would you? That would be amazing. What is it?
It is the recipe we have been talking about all morning. A simple, fresh, authentic Italian tomato and basil pasta sauce.
From scratch? With no jar?
With no jar. I promise you, it is so easy to make, and it will taste 1,000,000 times better than any sauce from a jar.
Okay, I am ready. Tell me what to do.
Well, first, we need to buy the ingredients. We are in the perfect place.
So, what do I need?
You will need these beautiful, ripe tomatoes. Let's get about 1 kilogram of them.
A whole kilogram of tomatoes. Okay.
And you will need 1 or 2 cloves of garlic and a big bunch of this fresh, fragrant basil.
Tomatoes, garlic, basil. That's it?
And you will need some good quality olive oil and some salt and pepper, but you probably have those at home.
I do. That seems so simple.
It is. That is the beauty of it.
Okay, I am going to buy the ingredients for my first real meal. 1 kilogram of tomatoes, some garlic, and a bunch of basil.
An excellent shopping list. And of course, you will need some good pasta to go with your beautiful sauce.
Of course. I have some spaghetti at home.
Perfect. So, what is the recipe? How do I turn these simple ingredients into a delicious sauce?
It is very easy. First, you will chop the garlic very finely.
Okay.
Then, you will heat some olive oil in a pan, and you will gently cook the garlic for a minute until it smells amazing. Be careful not to burn it.
Gently cook the garlic. Got it.
Then, you will chop the tomatoes and add them to the pan. You will also add some salt and pepper.
And what happens then?
Then, you just let the sauce simmer on a low heat for about 20 to 30 minutes.
Simmer. What does that mean?
It means to cook it very gently, with just small bubbles, not a big, fast boil.
Okay. A slow, gentle simmer. And what will happen to the tomatoes?
They will break down and become soft, and they will release all their beautiful, sweet juice. They will transform into a rich, thick sauce.
And when do I add the basil?
You add the fresh basil leaves right at the very end, just before you serve. You just tear them with your hands and stir them into the sauce.
So they keep their fresh, fragrant flavor.
Exactly. And that is it. That is your perfect homemade tomato sauce. You just cook your pasta and you mix it all together.
That sounds so easy. I think even I can do that.
Okay, I am going to buy the ingredients for my first real meal. A kilogram of tomatoes, some garlic, and a bunch of basil.
An excellent shopping list. And, of course, you will need some good pasta to go with your beautiful sauce.
Of course, I have some spaghetti at home.
Perfect. So, what is the recipe? How do I turn these simple ingredients into a delicious sauce?
It is very easy. First, you will chop the garlic very finely. Okay.
Then, you will heat some olive oil in a pan and you will gently cook the garlic for a minute until it smells amazing. Be careful not to burn it.
Gently cook the garlic. Got it.
Then you will chop the tomatoes and add them to the pan. You will also add some salt and pepper.
And what happens then?
Then you just let the sauce simmer on a low heat for about 20 to 30 minutes.
Simmer. What does that mean?
It means to cook it very gently with just small bubbles, not a big, fast boil.
Okay, a slow, gentle simmer. And what will happen to the tomatoes?
They will break down and become soft, and they will release all their beautiful, sweet juice. They will transform into a rich, thick sauce.
And when do I add the basil?
You add the fresh basil leaves right at the very end, just before you serve. You just tear them with your hands and stir them into the sauce.
So they keep their fresh, fragrant flavor.
Exactly. And that is it. That is your perfect homemade tomato sauce. You just cook your pasta and you mix it all together.
That sounds so easy. I think even I can do that.